What's up, Team Takeover? This is Debo from the forum, and just doing my first vlog of hopefully many. So we just want to talk about some shit that's going down in MMA, and nothing but can't start better than fucking the Strikeforce heavyweight tournament. So going down February 12th, we got Fedor versus Bigfoot, and Sergey Karatana versus Andrei Arlovsky. And all I gotta say is Fedor's gonna fucking take back his #1 heavyweight spot. What can I say? Rocking the Fedor shirt right now. There's nothing you can do about it, haters. He's taking back that spot. I mean, Silva's a good test for him, good top 10, top 15 heavyweight, but I don't see him winning the fight unless he holds Fedor down or possibly gets a sub from the top, which I just don't see happening at all. On the AA fight versus Sergey is a lot more interesting than the Fedor fight, because I think that's just a warm-up fight for Fedor. I think he can take Silva any day of the week. Honestly, I think Verdum was just a slip. I think Verdum's gonna get destroyed in the first round by Overeem, and he's just gonna be out of this tournament. But the AA match versus Sergey is much more interesting, because we got Sergey, who just fought K1 and looked pretty bad against this. Pretty bad and got knocked out, and he looked pretty out of shape, like 20 pounds or so. I think he came in at like 240. He usually comes in around 220. And Andrei Arlovsky, ever since Fedor smashed his jaw and has just been getting cracked. He's a glass. He's got a serious glass jaw now, and so that's why I favor Sergey in this fight, because I don't see, in 3 rounds, I just don't see the chance for Andrei Arlovsky to get out of that. Unless he's got a new jaw, he picked one up from the store or some shit. He's gonna have to keep range with Sergey, who's got some of the fucking best boxing at heavyweight, and he's just gonna destroy him with body shots and just crack him in the jaw and just break him. So I'm picking Sergey in this fight. I'm not really sure how he's gonna train for it and how good a shape, but I think even in bad shape, Sergey will fucking whip AA's ass. So that's pretty much the first round going down on February 12th. The second round, the first round on the other side of the bracket, you got Alistar Overeem versus Verdum. I think this is a pretty terrible fight for Verdum, because he doesn't have the best offensive wrestling, and he's not bigger. He's not going to be able to just muscle Overeem down. I mean, Overeem fucking threw Brett Rogers across the cage. He's a monster. He's got so much muscle mass on him, and I don't think Verdum doesn't even have close to stand up to even compete with him. Overeem just won his fucking K1 championship. He's a monster on the feet, and honestly, the only way Verdum wins this is by some ridiculous sub, pulling guard, or he's just got to trick him like he did with Fedor. He's got to get him to the ground somehow and get him into that weak guard and just slap something up out of nowhere. There's no way he's gonna win this fight. It's just a terrible fight for him. I think Overeem will take it in the first round. I honestly think that Overeem will just come out of the gate like he did against Duffy. Maybe not 19 seconds, because Verdum's not a pussy and doesn't have a glass jaw like he does, and Verdum's not gonna get knocked out by Mike Russell. But yeah, I think Overeem takes in the first one. I think he's gonna finish him off on the feet. And then we have Brett Rogers versus Josh Barnett, and this is a really interesting fight, I guess. Josh Barnett's got he's on a winning streak, but he hasn't been facing the best opponents, and as long as he tests negatives for steroids, or he just doesn't get caught for steroids, I think he can beat Brett Rogers. I think he's a good stylistic matchup for against Brett Rogers. Brett, he's pretty one-dimensional. On his back, he's pretty awful, and he doesn't have the best defensive wrestling. And Josh Barnett definitely has good enough wrestling to take him down, and I think I'm picking Josh Barnett to sub him somewhere in the 15 minutes. I mean, Brett Rogers dropped around to fucking Warpath. I think that's pretty sad, and I'm picking Josh Barnett to move on, and I really think he has a good shot at winning the tournament, because he has a as long as he's in shape, passes his tests and shit like that, he's a pretty good stylistic matchup for both, for on his side for Fedor and Overeem, who I think are the big favorites in this tournament, because obviously he's got the offensive wrestling and he's got top control and a top game, and so he's got to worry about getting subbed for the bottom, and so he could, honestly, he could just sit there and guard and probably win both those matchups if he can take them down. But he's not gonna do that. He's not a fucking faggot like some of these bitches out here. Nicolens and all those fucking douches just fucking sit and guard. So on to something else that's terrible, in my opinion, is JDS decided to fight Brock Lesnar and being tough coaches. I think this is going to be one of the worst seasons ever because, I mean, I love JDS to death. I think he's an awesome fighter. He goes for the fucking kill. He's got mean hands. I think he's a bit overrated on as far as his takedown defense, but I think he's an awesome fighter. He's gonna be on the tough coach against Brock Lesnar, and I just think that's god awful. Like, honestly, JDS does not have the personality for tough, and neither does Brock Lesnar. He's just, what is he gonna do every episode? Just roar Brock smash or some shit? Like, honestly, it's just a terrible decision by Dana White. He doesn't like people. Brock Lesnar likes to sit in his cabin and go shoot deer and shit like that, and then come back and get mauled by Cain Velasquez. But the worst part about it, fuck the tough, I'm not even gonna watch that shit, is at the end of the season, they're fighting for the number one contender spot. So what happens? What happens is JDS, he loses, God forbid, then we get a Lesnar versus Cain, which is a fucking terrible fight. Terrible fight. We saw this already. Lesnar does not have the skills to stand up with, or to fight anyone that has legitimate wrestling defense, and he can't just bully to the ground and pound them. He's just going to get hammered. He doesn't know how to deal with people on the feet. And the worst part about it is the UFC is going to make millions on the matchup. They can just bullshit their propaganda spin. Oh, he's been training his hands with fucking... I don't even know who he's going to train his hands with. Oh, he's training his hands with Pat Barry with lethal K1 striking. He's going to fucking destroy Cain Velasquez on the feet. He's got the power punches, and all those fucking super zombies are going to be like, oh, Cain can't win this fight. It's just so sad. And JDS, he didn't want to wait, but seriously, this is a terrible fight for him. If he loses this fight, I'm just going to be sad for the only two good heavyweights in the UFC not getting to fight. Instead, they have some fucking chump. Another title shot, which I think is pretty bad, is Mark Hominick versus George Roop is going down. I'm not sure. I think it's... I want to say it's one of the fight nights coming up because they need an opponent for Jose Aldo. Hominick is supposed to get the title shot if he wins this, and while I agree that Hominick is probably the best fighter on the feet that Aldo's faced, he's not going to be able to... He fights, he jabs. He has a really good jab. He's going to stay on the outside, but that's terrible against someone like Jose Aldo, who's got the just mean... Or actually, it's Jose, mispronouncing because he's Brazilian, not Mexican. Against Jose Aldo, he's just so good with the leg kicks. He's so good at that range. That's what happened to your favor. He tries to keep that range, and he just got fucking destroyed. Jose Aldo took it easy. He didn't want to break his leg and just destroy him for the rest of his career. I think this is just Hominick is done. Hominick is not going to make it this out of the third round. He's going to get... it's going to be similar to the Gambierian fight. You're going to notice Jose's going to feel him up for the first round, or feel him out for the first round. And then the second round, he just explodes and just beats his ass. And I also think it's bullshit for George Roop, because not that I'm a fan of giving him a title shot, but how's that fair? The one guy gets a title shot, and then they're just gonna make Jose Aldo wait if Roop wins, which I think he has a good chance of winning. Hominick has got a reach advantage on a lot of the guys he fights, and he's not gonna have that advantage on Roop. And Roop is gonna be able to keep range just as good as he is, because he's got some really good kickboxing, or not really good, but he's got decent kickboxing and he's got good range. And I mean, he fucking knocked out the Korean zombie, so obviously he's got some power. He knows what he's doing. what else is going on? We got coming up Vitor Belfort versus Anderson Silva, and fuck that, fuck that fight. I don't even want to. I don't really care that much about that fight. I want to see Rich Franklin redeem himself. #1 Rich Franklin fan right here on TT, and I want to see Rich Franklin just take apart Forrest Griffin. I think Rich Franklin can. I want him to. But the main event, we got Vitor Belfort versus Anderson Silva. It's a toss-up, but honestly, I think that Vitor, if he pressures him enough, he can fucking knock him out, or at least finish. I don't even know knocking out, but he can finish the fight. He can just finish the fight if he's doesn't start out of the gate and start losing. But if he starts losing, it's gonna be 5 minutes of just terribleness, because Vitor, as soon as he starts losing the fight, he just gives up. You see in so many fights, as soon as the tides turn, it's just terrible. I also think it's kind of bullshit that he gets a title shot against, and Okami doesn't, and I think that's complete bullshit, because Okami could fight right now. He didn't fight that long ago, and Okami's been winning at middleweight. Vitor Belfort, I think he has 2 wins. I think he won against Linland and won against some chump. He fought Rich Franklin at catchweight. He didn't even fight him at middleweight, so it's just too many questions for someone to be fighting the world champion and supposedly #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, while having 2 fights at fucking middleweight. I just think it's bullshit. I mean, not to hate on Vitor Belfort, but he just doesn't deserve a title shot at this point. And another fight that just got recently announced is Henderson versus Fei Zhao. And all you haters, fuck you. Fei Zhao is gonna take this. He's gonna if it was anyone else, I would pick Henderson, because I like Henderson, but fuck you. Fei Zhao is gonna take this. He's gonna sub him or crack his jaw or something. Fei Zhao is gonna win. He's one of my favorite fighters, and I think he's a monster, and I think that he can take. Henderson's big, but Fei Zhao is fucking huge. He's a fucking huge fighter. King Mo's a pretty big light heavyweight, but look at that fight. Fei Zhao looked like he had like 20 pounds on him. He's fucking massive. Another fight coming up was we got Nick Diaz versus Cyborg Santos, and I don't agree with giving Cyborg Santos the title shot. I think that you should have given it to Daly. I don't agree with that, even though Daly wanted another fight. And I don't know, that division was super exciting, and then I sort of got pissed off by Tyron Woodley, who I really enjoyed when he beat Andre Galval's ass. I was excited about him, but then he started to just fucking lay and pray on Tarek Savadine, and it was just super gay, and it just pissed me off. So yeah, I don't agree with Cyborg Santos getting that title shot, and I don't know. Cyborg has a lot of power in his hands, but I think that Nick Diaz's boxing is gonna. I think Nick Diaz he takes a punch too well. I think he's gonna take the fight. I think it's gonna be a 5-round war, but I think that Nick Diaz can take the fight. He doesn't really have that power, but I'm pretty sure he can beat him in the stand-up department for 5 rounds. I mean, beat KJ Nunes, even though KJ Nunes is a lightweight. KJ Nunes is supposed to have all this excellent stand-up, and he just thrashed him. So I think that's about it. That was about 15 minutes of ranting. I'm gonna go shout-outs now. Shout out to RCV, rabbitpunch.net, or rabbit-punch.net. Shout out to Sambo Kid. Shout out to Daniel, #1 Sandro fan, even if he lost to Hioki. Fletcher. Shout out to Stu. I can't think of anybody else right now. Shout out to Red, Stand Up Fighters. Shout out to Bloodstained Lane. Oh, shout out for J-Rod making me the sweet Fei Zhao gif. And that's it. Fuck your life, Team Takeover.